Lossett on your right, Devon, Odzana on your left. It's Ad Nauseam, it's Mono Green Tron. And Ad Nauseam is actually a deck that's kind of picking up in popularity because apparently it's good against both Faithless Looting decks.
Well, so Phoenix and Dredge both do a really good job of dominating the battlefield. In the instance of Dredge, you just put a lot of creatures out there. And in the instance of Is It Phoenix, you have Thing of the Ice, which invalidates a lot of creature strategies. Neither of these things really interact with Ad Nauseam. And the deck can win about as fast as Dredge and Is It Phoenix. So it has seen a sort of resurgence in popularity as a response to the popularity of those two decks.
Joe's on a mulligan of 6 here. You see him kick things off with an Urza's Power Plant into a Chromatic Sphere. Crack the Sphere, play a Sanctum of Ugin. Sphere, of course, cracked for green mana. It'll be a Sylvan Scrying to find, I believe, another Tron piece. And I lied. It's actually going to be a forest. So Joe is taking a slower approach to this game as Odzana kicked things off with a Temple of Deceit and scried the top card to the bottom. Now here is a Serum Visions. So Devon will draw a card and he'll scry 2. Both cards appear to be staying on top, so he's found what he's looking for. He'll cut Joe's deck very quickly. Play another land here. It'll actually be a copy of Seachrome Coast. And now here's another Serum Visions. So Odzana will draw this card. Scry 2 once again. We'll see if he wants to keep both of these cards again.
Again, both, I think, Gemstone Mine and Path of Negation.
Well, one on top, one on bottom. We'll split the difference as we head back over to Joe, who got a forest with the Sylvan Scrying. There is the forest. And now here's an Oblivion Stone. Lossett will pass the turn back over to Odzana. Dark Slick Shores will be the play there for Devon, and he'll simply pass the turn back over to Joe. That is an Urza's Power Plant, if memory serves. So it looks like 2 of those out there for Joe. Here's another Temple for Odzana.
Yeah, no extra mana here from Odzana. Neither Pentap Prism nor Lotus Bloom. But against Tron, you can often wait until turn 5 and just go from there. The kill here, of course, being Ad Nauseam, along with Angel's Grace to cover you from losing the game. You draw your whole deck. You can win with Laboratory Maniac.
And or Lightning Storm.
Or Lightning Storm.
Here is a Thrag Tusk.
Nice. That is not what this matchup is about.
Not even close. Not even close. A Dark Slick Shores will enter the battlefield tapped. And actually, it looks like Devon has a copy of Mystical Teachings in hand to be able to maybe go off next turn.
Yeah, so I think he has Angel's Grace plus Ad Nauseam rolled up plus the next land. So he can Mystical Teachings for Pact of Negation to stop anything should Lossett play something threatening. On the upkeep, trigger the lose the game thing, Angel's Grace, draw a card, Ad Nauseam, and draw his whole deck.
Devon not going to play Mystical Teachings on the end step. He'll just play a Gemstone Mine. That land will enter the battlefield with 3 mining counters. So that's why the die is on there. This is an Angel's Grace. That's step 1 to the puzzle. Step 2 is 5 mana, and now there's a copy of Ad Nauseam. So Devon will draw his entire deck. Joe says, let me see how you're going to kill me. And give me all the information. There's a Lightning Storm. Joe's also going to be looking to see if there's a Laboratory Maniac there potentially in the main deck. Because Joe is dead. You did see the Laboratory Maniac that Joe did scroll by.
And you can cast these cards off of the Simian Spirit Guides that you draw. And then the Lightning Storm, you have your whole deck in your hands, so you can play back as much as you want to. And, I think Lossett is just asking Odzana to go through the actual process of killing him.
I presume. Otherwise, this looks a little strange. We will bring Lightning Storm up, one of your favorite designs, I'm sure.
It's so elegant.
Yes.
It involves counters while it's on the stack.
A Cold Snap staple.
So you go ahead, you play this, and then you sort of discard lands while it's on the stack to put charge counters on it, and you get to the point where Lossett is dead from that, and then you have lands left over to redirect should Lossett try to play back.
Now, I presume, that Devon has enough lands to be able to get the job done, and Joe's just making sure he knows how things work. And so now Devon, Odzana will win game number 1 here over Joe Lossett. Ad nauseum, very quickly up a game here over Mono Green Tron. Not too surprising of a result because it's a very good matchup for Ad nauseum.
Yep, and the Tron matchup's always been good. Tron's still popular. I think Tron players feel that their matchup with Phoenix and Dredge is acceptable, and that's one more reason to consider Ad nauseum right now.
We'll go to the sideboards. We'll start with Joe Lossett since he'll be on the play here for game number 2. He's got 4 copies of Nature's Claim, 3 Spatial Contortion, 3 Surgical Extraction, 2 Thragtusk, a Crucible of Worlds, an Ugin the Spirit Dragon, and an Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger.
Not a whole lot to like here. Surgical Extraction really doesn't do a whole lot against Ad nauseum, though it could be an upgrade over some of his board control elements. Lossett really doesn't have a whole lot to bring in here.
For Devon's side of things, he's got 4 Leyline of Sanctity, 2 Bonto's Last Reckoning, 2 Fatal Push, 2 Godhead of Awe, don't see that one very often, 2 Thoughtseize, a Grave Titan, a Pact of Negation, and a Slaughter Pact.
Same 60.
There it is. There it is.
Maybe the extra packs, but very light sideboarding here.
Don't really think much needs to change here for really either player. I guess.
I mean, Lossett doesn't have really discards or counter spells or ways to speed up his clock or any of that kind of stuff here. That's what you would be looking for. And from Odzana's side, even Lossett's bigger Eldrazi plays really don't amount to too much. They don't require specific responses. Probably just best for him to focus on being as fast as possible. I think that it's possible Lossett will bring in the Nature's Claim because you can tag Lotus Bloom, although that doesn't always work because the deck can go off inside of its own upkeep if it has enough mana, and you might be able to get Pentap Prism as well. And those are high leverage enough targets that, given that Lossett has very little to bring to the table here, he might try to bring that in and hope to spike a little bit of interaction.
You see there behind Devon and behind Joe, we've got the old guard here, folks. Behind Devon, we've got Chris Pakula in the house.
Yeah.
Apparently he lives a cool 7 minutes away here from the Valley Forge Casino and Resort. And then Craig Krempels,
yes,
also hanging out here, one of New Jersey's finest Magic players. So hopefully we'll have some time to watch both of them later this weekend. For now, we turn our attention to the StarCityGames.com weekly sale, where it's actually the St. Patrick's Day sale. I guess St. Patrick's Day is Monday?
I don't know.
You know what that means? Shamrock Shakes, dude.
They're back?
Yeah.
The only good time of this holiday for me. Bunch of green cards on sale, forests and such, because St. Patrick is a known sort of Irish figure. The color green's associated with Ireland. Go.sarcgames.com/sale.
You're Irish, right?
I am.
So that's got to be a sale that you're going to be browsing, I'm sure. I'm almost positive. You browse all of them anyway.
Well, I most of the sale browsing that I do is going on and then filtering for lands.
Okay.
And there's just a limited option of those during the green sale.
I'm sure there's some beautiful forests that you could add to your collection.
I don't know if the alpha and betas were on sale. It's really they had some like alpha Ironwood Treefolk and Crawlworms were on sale. Those
There you go.
I did consider those.
There you go.
If I was to buy anything, I think those are the most likely targets.
Do you have a favorite green card?
Well, I have Folka Ben Hava was a really important piece of me wanting to play Magic competitively.
Okay.
In terms of the old ones, so I started playing during Revised. I don't know if there was one that really stuck out at me. I did like Urnimjin a lot, but that feels like cheating because that card was so powerful compared, and I think that people who are, when it's like, what's your favorite card? And just name the most powerful one that was available. It's not that interesting of an answer. I'm trying to think of the green card that really I was drawn to when I started playing Magic. I guess Elvish Archers, although that's not really a green card by modern definition. It's not really part of green's color pie to have first strike. I like Birds of Paradise a lot.
Well, as Joe sends his hand back very quickly, looking for a perfect 6 or something close to it, we learn a little bit more about the member of Team BCW. 39 years old is the Redlands, California native. 2018 SC Tour. He didn't play a ton, was very focused on the Grand Prix and Pro Tour circuit, had a good run over there last year. Only played 4 Opens last year, no top 8s, but he's got quite a few on the resume all-time, 22 with 5 Open wins, most of them coming in standard, not legacy like many think. 2 invitational top 8s as well. His Twitch username is Oarsman79, inspired by rowing at the University of Colorado. He's also the reigning and defending Star City Games Players Champion, and we will see him at the end of the year at the Star City Games Players Championship. See if he can defend his crown. But if he gets paired against this matchup there, he's going to have a tough time doing that.
No, I think you can see the value of playing Ad Nauseam right now. It's not the best against, interaction backed by fast kill, but that sort of stuff right now is really bad. The card Thoughtseize, for example, how much do you want that card against Is It Phoenix or Dredge? It's not very good there. How good is the card Negate or Spell Pierce? Not very good there. Those cards are commonly played and very good against Ad Nauseam, but they're kind of at a low point right now because of their poor position in the Faithless Looting matchups.
Think about it. Those decks that were kind of aggressive decks with Disruption, your Humans and Bant Spirits of the world, those decks aren't seeing a ton of play right now either.
Right.
Which are really bad matchups for Ad Nauseam.
And Humans, that the sort of Meddling Mage, Freebooter, Thalia deck, so bad against Sting in the Ice that you don't see a whole lot of that deck right now either.
Ad Nauseam is not the kind of deck that's ever going to be, I think, the best deck in the format because it's easy to pick apart, but it is the kind of metagame deck that can win a tournament like this one this weekend.
Yeah, my concern with the deck is I think the fail rate is still high enough that even if it's a good metagame call, in quotes, I still don't think you're running away with a tournament. But certainly, if you don't want to play one of those decks yourself, you want to metagame against them instead, I think it's a legit choice.
Lossett kicked things off there with an Urza's Power Plant into a Chromatic Star, crack the Star for a little bit of mana, play a Sphere along with a Ghost Quarter, and pass the turn back over to Devon. Devon with a couple copies of Temple of Enlightenment. That's, of course, the Scryland from way back when. That's a Sleight of Hand, and now a Lotus Bloom that's on 2 counters as we head back over to Lossett, who's going to crack the Sphere and draw a card. And Urza's Tower there from Lossett. We'll pass the turn back over to Devon. Dark Slick Shores. We'll go back over to Lossett.
And this is the type of setup from Odzana here that can win on turn 4, even through a Nature's Claim, because everything can be done inside the upkeep. He has the requisite mana. 6 is the flashpoint.
Horizon Canopy the land, and now Lotus Bloom is going to enter. This is a Nature's Claim. Does Devon have the ability to go off in response?
I mean, he's got Angel's Grace. If you have Angel's Grace plus Ad Nauseam, you got it all.
Well, there's a blue pact. All right. That'll take care of that Nature's Claim. City of Brass. There's Angel's Grace. Spoils of the Vault.
And 5 mana left over here to play an Ad Nauseam, so...
Well, if he goes by both of his win conditions, he's dead. He just went by the Lightning Storm. So that means that he's got to do it with Laboratory Maniac.
Should be safe against 1 mana.
3, 4, 5. Okay, so my question is how is he casting the Laboratory Maniac?
He has Pentap Prism,
okay.
So you can have you can turn Simian Spirit Guide into. I guess you can only Prism for 1, and I don't know if there's enough Simian Spirit Guides left over because he went over 1.
I do not think this game is over. I think Devon might.
Has he made a land drop this turn? Yeah, he played City of Brass, right?
Yes.
And this is turn 4, and his Lotus Bloom went off, so. because he milled over a Simian Spirit Guide. If you had all of them in the deck, then you could play the Pentap Prism for 1. That's your blue mana, and your 2 remaining Simian Spirit Guide gets you to 3. If he's down a Simian Spirit Guide, he may not have enough mana to be able to play the
Lab Maniac.
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything like Manamorphose in the deck to sort of cycle through in this sort of spot. Yeah, I think Odzana needed to either, if all the 4 Simian Spirit Guides were in the deck, or if the Lightning Storm was in the deck, it'd be fine, but he lost. Now I think he's trying to see, is there any way for me to do it?
Let's take a look at Angel's Grace. You can't lose the game this turn. Okay. And your opponents can't win the game this turn. So if you load up your hand with Angel's Grace
to cover it the next turn.
And Lab Maniac and like some number of like blue packs, I still think you get to do your thing, right?
Yeah, so assuming that this covers you losing from game rules along with that, you don't lose right now. You get to sculpt your 7-card hand. Untap, you got a Pacification trigger on the stack. You Angel's Grace then. You don't lose to drawing a card when you can't. And as long as you keep Laboratory Maniac, a way to draw a card right away.
Yeah, I think Devon's just dead because now he draws his entire deck too. Yeah, he would draw his entire deck. His life total would still be at 1 because of the Ad Nauseam, because I believe Ad Nauseam deals damage. It isn't loss of life. But we can take a look at Ad Nauseam too. But he went by the Lightning Storm. And then their Laboratory Maniac is all that's left in his deck, and he just couldn't put it all together.
Can't you get to next turn? So if you keep a 7-card hand, Lossett does whatever he does, and you keep an Angel's Grace, a Laboratory Maniac, some mana, and a way to draw a card right away, don't you still win the game if Lossett can interact with the Laboratory Maniac?
No, because Adnaz is life loss. And so when we go to Joe's turn, he's like, yo, you're negative.
Oh, you're negative. Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The Ad Nauseam knocks you down to like negative 24. It doesn't knock you down to 1.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, so Odzana there needed to either keep an extra Simian Spirit Guide in his deck there to be able to Pentap Prism for blue and play the Laboratory Maniac, or not pass over the Lightning Storm. He lost Lightning Storm plus one of the Simian Spirit Guides to a Spoils of the Vault, and then didn't have enough to go off.
So honestly, really well played game by Joe.
Yep.
If you think about it, just expert play every turn.
Had a lot of decisions to make. Used to disenchant on the Lotus. Great stuff.
Impressive stuff there by Joe, who will be on the draw this game. And obviously Nature's Claim is in his deck, and that's going to remain in his deck. Spatial Contortion, nope. Surgical Extraction,
not really here.
I don't really think so.
It doesn't work that way. When the deck doesn't really put anything into its graveyard until it's winning the game that turn. So
what about Thragtusk? It was really good game 1.
I mean, you got to attack at least. I don't know. It might be better than some of the more expensive stuff that really doesn't do anything. Like, it's probably better than Ugin, you know.
Certainly better than Ugin.
But you know,
for Devon, you know, just I don't know. Don't spoils over your Lightning Storm, I guess.
Right.
That'd be my professional advice from a former professional. These players still working on the sideboard here a little bit, so we are going to talk about SCG Game Night, the fun and friendly promotion where now we only show you 1 month, no more teasers. So for the month of March, which is already, are we halfway through? It's the 16th today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost time for March Madness. You ready for that?
Well, I'll be waiting with bated breath to see if the selection committee sees fit to put my Scarlet Knights into the tournament.
What's their record?
About 500. Lost in the opening round of the Big Ten tournaments in Nebraska.
This feels like a no.
Did Princeton win the Ivy? Those are the only two teams I pay attention to.
Man, I don't know.
So, no.
All I know is Purdue lost yesterday. My dad texted me and was not happy.
Yep.
As though I cared. SCG Game Night every week in March, featuring exclusive Veni Vidi Amici tokens and sleeves. Go to StarCityGames.com/game night to learn more about this wonderful program. And what's the other part of this? In-store play representative?
Oh, yeah.
something?
If you want to get signed up for this and you aren't already, work at a store, contact your Star City Games in-store play representative, the same person who handles your IQs and regionals and what have you. Get that person on the line, get signed up for game night.
There you go. There you go. We got the program for you between IQs and game nights. You want to bring some localized, organized play to your store with some cool prizes? Got it. We got you, fam. Is that a Cubs hat that Pakula's wearing?
I don't know.
Is he a Cubs fan?
I think it's probably just C for Chris.
There's no way that's true.
You sure? I don't think Pakula's a huge sports fan.
Maybe it's a Cornell hat?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a Cornell hat. You're right.
Yeah. Didn't he
Good
go to
read.
Cornell?
He did go to Cornell.
All right, there you go.
Team Sped has its roots kind of in upstate New York. Cornell, Rochester, Syracuse. A lot of people kind of grew up or went to college in that area. Good read.
Yeah.
C for Chris.
That's the fact that you thought that could even be close to right.
What I can recall of Pakula's tweets is he occasionally will watch sports if it's a big game.
Okay.
But he's not like super into it.
Okay.
He's not following the 76ers, the Phillies season or whatever.
Sure. Just
Cornell.
C for Chris.
Yeah.
It's really something. Just really passionate about his first name.
Yeah. I would bet on Cornell. That's right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. You actually probably could place a bet upstairs on that. Joe's going to go down to 6 cards. We'll see how low he goes. He went to 5 last game. I mean, the best bet for Joe to be able to win this match is a turn 3 Karn. That's what it's all about. So Joe will be taking a look at 6 cards.
Yeah, if Odzana is not able to produce any artifact mana, and Lossett can get to a fast Karn and start taxing the mana a little bit, that's a path.
Well, we're underway. It's a Seachrome Coast and a Serum Visions. Draw 1, scry 2.
And Lossett with no thought not Sears in the sideboard this weekend.
Yep.
It's a matchup where, pressure plus disruption would be really nice.
Joe with an Urza's Mine and a Chromatic Sphere. Another Seachrome Coast here for Devon. Pentad Prism for 2. We'll head back over to Joe. Joe will crack that sphere for a green, presumably. Play the Tower of Power, 2/3 of the way there. There's another sphere and a Nature's Claim going after the Pentad Prism.
Good stuff for Lossett.
Yep.
You can keep Odzana off of 6 mana. It makes it really hard for him to do anything.
We'll go back over to Devon now for his 3rd turn of the game. It's a Temple of Enlightenment, so here's a Scry. The follow-up is another Serum Vision, so Devon will draw the card that he kept on top, and now he'll scry 2. Split the difference on the scry, 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Serum Visions is done resolving, and we'll head back over to Lossett for his 3rd turn of the game. Joe will crack the sphere, draw a card, play a star, crack the star, draw a card. Play another star, no 3rd land, so we head back over to Devon. It'll be Serum Visions number 3 here for Devon Odzana. Scry 2 once again. Looks like Ad Nauseam and Pact Negation among those cards. One on top and one on the bottom. Serum Visions done resolving. Darkslick Shores enters the battlefield tapped. It'll be another Pentad Prism.
And if Odzana is not scrying cards to the bottom there, if he left on top, you have to imagine if you're Lossett here, you're dead if you don't do any interaction this turn. He got the 6 mana, and he likes whatever he has on top. And that is usually all the deck needs.
Well, there's Horizon Canopy. That's land 3. The tower. Here's a very slow Oblivion Stone. Does Devon Odzana have it rolled up this time? City of Brass is the land very quickly. This is an Angel's Grace. And this looks like it's going to be an ad nauseum, folks. Draw the deck. Pass it over to Joe for the 3rd time this match.
It's confirming the win conditions are still in there.
Yep. There's the Lightning Storm. Plenty of lands, and that's going to do it. Devon Odzana is going to win this game in matcher over Joe Lossett. 2-1. Ad Nauseam will take care of Mono Green Tron. And for Devon Odzana, it's ideal.